The opening match of this year's 2022-23 Premier League season saw Crystal Palace host potential top 4 side Arsenal. Even though the scoreline suggests this was a comfortable win for Arsenal, the stats on this one may in fact surprise you. We have all the data you need in just under 5 minutes to see how both teams compared and who the top players were. This is Stats Wave. At full time, the match between these two sides ended Crystal Palace 0, Arsenal 2. Our man of the match was Arsenal's new signing Alexander Zinchenko, who put in a strong all-round performance, making meaningful contributions in both attack and defence. Arsenal's Martinelli scored the first goal with an assist from Zinchenko. Arsenal then scored a second goal with just 5 minutes of the match remaining, thanks to a devastating cross from Saka, which led to an own goal from Crystal Palace's Adi Guehi. Let's take a look at how the teams compared by looking at the stats in more detail. Crystal Palace dominated possession, had better passing stats, and also had a higher goal expectation based on the quality of chances they created. So how did Arsenal win the game 2-0? Ultimately, Arsenal were a bit more clinical in front of goal and created 2 key moments in the match. The first, a brilliantly executed corner routine, and second, they had an element of fortune late in the second half when Crystal Palace scored an own goal. Both teams were matched fairly closely when it came to shots on target, but this was definitely a game of 2 halves. Arsenal didn't face a single shot on their goal for the first 42 minutes and largely dominated the game. But close to half-time, there was a shift in the match, and Arsenal went into their shell. This allowed Crystal Palace to come roaring back in the second half. They created a couple of huge chances but were unable to score. It's not often Arsenal are outpassed so heavily by a team outside the top 6, but Crystal Palace showed what a great footballing team they've become under Patrick Vieira. Not only did they complete more passes throughout the game, but their passing accuracy was an astonishing 87%, some of the most impressive passing stats you'll see all season. They also had more possession of the ball in Arsenal's half. When it came to duels on the pitch, however, we saw that Arsenal were the grittier team and were stronger when it came to fighting for the ball. They won more of the duels both on the ground and in the air. This is an incredible turnaround, as you would have expected Palace to dominate in this area, but Arsenal are a much tougher team this season. Let's take a look at the key individual performers, starting with our man of the match, Alexander Zinchenko. Zinchenko contributed to a valuable clean sheet against a strong Crystal Palace attack. He had the most interceptions in the game, as well as being the strongest defender in the air. He created the second most chances in the game and ultimately created a brilliant assist for Arsenal's first goal. He also registered a shot on goal in a game which had very few shots on target. Gabriel Martinelli was the biggest goal threat and scored the critical first goal for Arsenal. Palace's Jordan Ayew created the most chances overall in the game, and Nathaniel Klein made the most attacking passes in the game. It's worth noting Crystal Palace's Joachim Andersen's position in the top 3 of this stat, considering he's a central defender. Arsenal's new signing, Gabriel Jesus, was the most dangerous player when it came to running at the opposition with the ball. Saka dominated when it came to attacking headers, as well as Joachim Andersen again, who showed what a great asset he is for Crystal Palace. Ben White made the most tackles in the game with an impressive 8 tackles won for Arsenal. When it came to clearances, Andersen showed how good his all-round game is by topping this table, with Arsenal's Saliba coming a close second. Palace's Zaha had the most ball recoveries, showing that as well as being immensely skillful, he's also a hard worker on the pitch. Amazingly, Zinchenko was the most powerful aerial defender in the game. What's incredible here is the other 2 on the list are both strikers who showed their overall value to the team. Gabriel Jesus showed a terrific attitude by defending from the front throughout the game. These stats show that final scorelines don't always tell the full story. This game was far from comfortable for Arsenal, and they certainly rode their luck in the second half especially. If they want to compete for the top 4 this season, they'll have to gamble and keep attacking teams when they're in the lead. Otherwise, they'll risk dropping points by sitting back and inviting teams onto them. As for Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira has done an outstanding job, and they were very close to getting a point from this game at least. At StatsWave, we're trying to bring more data to the fans. If you'd like to know more about the stats behind our incredible Premier League games, please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button, and leaving us a comment below.